So coming back to the entrepreneurial angle a little bit more explicitly.
Yeah.
You guys have grown to 13% market share. What do you think, besides you guys have a special offering, but like on you specifically, is there a habit?
Oh, yeah.
Is there like a personal doctrine that you have? What do you think has made you that successful in your field?
Well, we mentioned it earlier. I've got two superpowers. I always keep promises I make to myself. And so I don't make promises to myself often, but when I do, I always keep them. That gives me a lot of confidence. And I time block. Like last year, I'm in the middle of an experiment in my life, aren't we all? But last year, I time blocked every 15 minutes, like really strictly. Like every 15 minutes of my life was already drawn out.
Wow.
I did it successfully and I got the results that I wanted. However, the results and the values didn't match up. So this year, I'm taking a completely different approach where I'm blocking it in 3 chunks of my day. So the morning is always the past. So in the morning, I start work. I wake up early every day, 4 o'clock, 4:09. And at 4:10, I'm already late because it takes me 12 minutes to get out of the house, to brush my teeth, use the restroom, get dressed before my conscious brain kicks in. So sometimes, like this morning, I was driving being like, what am I doing? Regardless, I'm religious about waking up early and getting my workout, whatever that looks like. And then at 7 o'clock, I'm working. Now, no agent or lender is working at 7 o'clock. They are typically 9, 10 risers or operators. Some of them start early, and it varies because they're entrepreneurs as well. I start at 7 and I write thank you cards. I have a goal of 260 thank you cards for this year, and I'm well on my way on there because every morning I wake up and practice gratitude. And so at work, I have my CRM, my Salesforce, who tells me this is who I've interacted with, this is who sent us a deal, this is who we closed, and I'm writing thank you cards every single day. Every single day. If I miss, I'm tracking this. If I miss, I make up for it. Now, there's reasons to miss, and sometimes you have to, but every single day. So that gives my kids the opportunity to see me at home because they go to, we get up and leave around 8:30. So an hour and a half, they see me working, writing thank you cards. So I dual purpose there. And then in the evening, so then the second part of my day is to be present. So after this, I eat lunch. I pause. I do all the errand running that I have to do because the second part of my day is the future. And so I prospect in the afternoons. I then end my day with family because the family is the future. And then at 8 o'clock, I start another process of my future. I got to get my clothes ready because I only got 12 minutes to get out of the house in the morning. So that means everything has to be laid out. And so it is a little crazy, but I master my time.
It's super structured.
I master my time. If I don't get to something like today, I didn't get to a couple emails. I don't have I'm working for the future this afternoon. So that email now has to wait. Now, do I have to adjust my life to make sure that I get my emails out? Maybe. I could have done it, but I then have to embrace the suck of having an email be delayed. But those are the lickings I'll have to take. And so it's the approach is whatever it is, the consequences. But I have to be like, no, now it's the future. 2 o'clock comes around. If I don't have an appointment, I'm probably going to be calling at any given time. If my day gets derailed or if anything happens, if I'm within a certain time slot of the day, I know exactly what I have to do. And so that gives me a little bit of more dynamic ability to fluctuate and not so 15 minutes. But if you could master your time, you could master, I have complete agency over my life. Sure, things happen, but I could adapt and pivot. And if I could control the beginning and the end of my day, I'm not reacting, I'm responding. Because I know that whatever goes in at work, I'm going to end my day the same way I ended it yesterday. I'm going to get up the same way I did today as a fresh start. So I know. So I minimize my volatility there a little of that.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, so that keeps me successful because no one could keep up with that.
No, that's true. I mean, I've very rarely have I met someone who's successful financially that doesn't at least try to wake up for 6. There's the odd exception, of course, but there's something to just having that disciplined, consistent life. It doesn't have to be monotonous, but you kind of have an idea of, I know what I need. I know what I need to be successful in a day.
Well, and then a lot goes into it because we all, like I'm guilty, and I think all humans are, of finding ways to cheat, even to yourself. It's like, do you really have the time to cook? You can just stop by fast food really quick. Like, you got all these other things. Or do you say, I screwed up managing my time and now fast food's my only option? I have to manage my time a little better.
Right.
Or do you just always make excuses? Like I make excuses for myself all the time. You have to be okay with the excuses you make, because once you make an excuse, you have a conscious awareness of that decision. So sometimes, like, I want to be a poet someday in my life, but I have to consciously be like, not until I'm retired, because I want to give it all. Right. So to me, that's an example of like, I need to do this. So I made a promise to myself. So I have to do these things. And so there's a big component of mastering your life. Success.
But yeah, it's like, are you a slave to your vices or do you dominate them?
Oh yeah. Cause there's place for vices. I make time for vices, because if you don't, you kind of go crazy.
Yeah. No, like you kind of need an outlet.
Yeah.
At a certain point in time, sometimes you just need to sit down.
Oh yeah. Well, I come from a fire service where someone's like, I had a chief who was like, man, you can do whatever you want as long as you have a reason to do it. So it's better ask for forgiveness than permission. So I was like, okay, always have a reason to do. So what are you doing right now? Why is the reason what you're doing right now is what you're doing? Do that all the time. I did a year of 15-minute increments of my life, and I realized, I waste a lot. So I got really good of like, hey, this is how I'm gonna structure my morning. This is how I'm gonna structure this to serve me, because I love autopilots. When something goes amiss or array or something funny, I default to the fact that I trust my autopilot, and it serves me really well, because I know that I've set up systems in my life that like, this is it.
Just intuitively, you can trust that you'll be kind of kept on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's like, I don't know, Jocko, if you listen to Jocko, but he talks about
Jocko Willink, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be like a
Navy SEAL.
Navy SEAL.
He talks about the freedom and the discipline. And I'm like, yes, there's a lot of freedom in the discipline, because I, for instance, start at 7. At 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, if I'm free and available, I'm walking by the waterfront because I want the negative ions. That fits into my transition to my next part. And then at 2 o'clock, I'm walking in the forest because I want to be forest bathing. Now, before I start forest bathing, I take this back. I start at 2, and at 3 o'clock, I know that I'm going to do dirt time. So I ground myself. So I believe personally that we live very unnatural lives with all the technology and cell phones, that we have to do things to bring us back to that. So I do a lot of practices that allow me to ground and relax and release. And so meditation, prayer, time with just, I call it dirt time, where I ground, I sit on the ground and don't think about anything. Time it 5 minutes at a time, just release. And then for me, I do it in the forest. So I'm like, okay, I'm popping back up and I'm making my phone calls. Right. I'm gonna call for another hour and a half. And like when I make my phone calls, what are people gonna do? Reject me and say no and say mean things? I'm still walking in the forest in the happiest place in the world in my prime. So next call.
Yeah. It's funny. There's almost like a religious idea into that, where it's going back to the Jocko Willink line. It was a freedom in the discipline. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where I heard a line once where freedom is only of value insofar as it allows you to choose what to submit to. Mm-hmm. And I've always loved that sentiment. And it's a very Christian thought too, but it's absolutely true. Like, you can be absolutely free and spend your time just lounging in the forest, and you're free to do that. Mm-hmm. But what good is it unless you are in control of it, using it for a good?
For intentionally, yeah. I've decided a long time ago that I'm going to live a very intentional life, because people are just hanging on life by a thread.
Oh yeah.
So I think, like, I served 12 years on an ambulance where I saw some stuff where I'm like, we're all lucky to live. And so live your life intentionally. So if you decide to smoke a bunch of weed, mm-hmm. is that like, why? Mm-hmm. Why are you doing it?
Self-examine.
Self-examine. And then if you realize, like, and then you come to a point where you become aware, like you have awareness of something, and you either choose to accept it or you change it. Mm-hmm. At every aspect of your life. Like, I'm getting married in September. We just saw our venue this weekend, and I'm like, it just became real to me. So I have to actually get into shape. Like, or I do work out all the time, not to get skinny. So people are like, I'm like, no, I do it for the mental health. Okay. I eat like I run a marathon every day. So that's why I look the way I do. So, but that's a value point. Yeah. However, those little tiny little motivators of like, sorry about that again. I talk with my hands. Those little things, what do you do and why do you do it? Like if you could refine, you find that you could find a lot of freedom. Like I could find time to relax and read and decompress because I know that I have a system in place to get the things that serve me. Mm-hmm. So it's important.